Seats. We're going to go ahead and get this special meeting started. So Mary, would you please call the roll?
Here.
Here.
Here?
Here.
Here.
All right, moving on to presentations. Mr. Lavender.
Yes, sir. We have two different presentations tonight, groups. Please stay within your 15-minute time that you were allotted to ensure that we can start our regular meeting at 6:30. Morris, I'll have you introduce your group. I think for people.
Hello, my name is Landry Howard, and I'm the team lead for the Cascade Union High School Near Space Research Team. We participate in a NASA space grant. Sorry, trying to figure out the keyboard. We participate in a NASA space grant project called Ascend, along with a multitude of colleges across the state. We're the only high school that participates in this program. So what is the space grant? 20% of NASA's budget goes towards education to fund graduate and undergraduate research. Each state has its own consortium, and Arizona's is based in U of A. Our project Ascend consists of a group of students. The goal of the space grant is to contribute to the nation's science enterprise by funding education and research, and to create unique opportunities for students and the public to contribute to NASA's work. Our project Ascend consists of a group of students that work to build and create a sensor payload to fly on a high-altitude balloon project to collect data and 4K video during our flights.
So our program interview, our team is underneath our club, Students for the Exploration and Development of Space, which is shortened to SEDS. We are called the Near Space Research Team. Our motto is design, built, flown by us. And as Landry had mentioned, our mission is to design, construct, test, and fly a high-altitude balloon into 100,000 feet with the aforementioned gaining data and 4K video. Now, this year we decided to do a course of study, which consists of us getting our ham radio license, learning KiCad for electrical design and assembly, the near space, as well as researching the near space environment, which is the atmosphere and weather, and then our constraints and requirements that we needed. So for our fall 2025 season, we decided to use a Arduino Mega with a BME284 pressure, temperature, humidity, a TMP36 for internal temperature monitoring, a UV sensor, and a GPS module, as well as a solar panel on the side of our payload. We used a simple regulated power supply, which is a battery that goes into our voltage converter that gives us our respective 3.3 volts and our 5 volts, which then goes into our board, which distributes the power, and to our key switch, which is the key to all this.
For our enclosure, we're using an ABS box because, one, it is durable, it's had previous success in other flights we've had, and it's easily to obtain. For our code, we're using C++. Why? Because of our chosen hardware being Arduino. To simplify, our code is going to have all of our sensors read for about 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, it's going to take all that data, put it into our data file of choice, close that file, and it's going to repeat this process every 10 seconds.
I burnt an SD card. Oh. What did I do? Oh.
Okay. Moving into our spring semester, we decided to pivot to focus more on reliability over complexity of our payload, we decided to drastically simplify our payload, going from 5 sensors to 3, as well as our original plan to use an Arduino Uno slave to an Arduino Mega. However, throughout our process during the semester, we ended up scrapping the Arduino Mega entirely. Due to previous SD card failures, we ended up directly connecting the SD card reader to our Arduino Uno, as well as connecting a screw terminal shield directly to our Arduino Uno as well. This was primarily due to space constraints within our ABS box on not being able to fit everything we had originally planned for. Throughout the semester, I focused on building our enclosure for the project. Once again, we're using the ABS box. However, all of the electrical components need to be able to fit inside. So I built a model out of cardboard to be able to effectively design the layout, to be able to effectively fit everything inside without damaging any components or wiring.
For this being my second semester in Ascend, along with this being my first semester working with the balloon, I didn't expect the wind to be so harsh that day, taking the balloon nearly several times out of our hands as it was filling. And throughout the time, we had to make sure it didn't touch the ground whatsoever. And after we let go of the balloon, letting us start our chase.
So this is our most recent flight. The black line was our predicted flight path. And as you can see, the red dot near the Santan Valley is where we landed. So a little smaller to where we were supposed to get. We were supposed to reach 9,000 feet in altitude, but we got a 76,000. And we decided to use MATLAB as our data analysis and results. It takes high telemetry data and turns it into graphs, which this is our altitude in feet to our time in hours. You can see about 30 minutes in, we are at 40,000 feet. And about 57 minutes in is when it gets to 76,000 and bursts. Now there's a small slope. The slope starts off very slow, but then kicks up in speed due to the altitude.
This is our external temperature sensor. So on ground, we're going to start at about 30 degrees Celsius. As we launch, that temperature is going to decrease, hitting about below negative 30 from what I can see from here. It's going to rise a little bit before we hit our burst, that little peak there. And upon burst, we're going to hit this very cold patch air below negative 40 degrees Celsius. It's going to warm up the closer we get to ground. This is our internal temperature sensor. It's similar, but this is just what's going on inside of our enclosure. Again, we're starting at 30 degrees Celsius. Upon our launch, it's going to get colder, and then it's going to warm up a little bit before our burst. Upon burst, it hits that cold patch. It's a little warmer than what's from inside, assuming from installation. And as we get closer to ground, it's going to warm up again. These graphs show our BME 280 pressure versus altitude. And you could see that throughout the start, it's around roughly 970. And we continue with a fast and slow decrease throughout the time. And it nearly hits about 0, which is basically a vacuum. And then you could see that after our burst, it follows the same line. That's why the line is so bolded. And sorry. This is our humidity versus altitude. And you could see that throughout our altitude, throughout our humidity, it's pretty dry throughout the time. And you could see that right after the burst, maybe 20 minutes into the burst, you could see that the humidity spiked up to 75%, which we were pretty sure that we had hit some sort of air current or cloud, but we have no footage of any proof.
During the flight, our UV sensor was placed on one side of our payload, which is indicated by the scattered points of our graph. This is due to during the flight, our payload spins And so depending on whether or not the sensor is facing directly at or away from the sun, when it reads, determines where the data point lays. So this is demonstrated in this graph with how scattered it is. This is a snippet of the footage we gathered from our fall flight. It demonstrates the curvature of the Earth, which is something that our mentor is always wanting. His main goal is for us to get a good video of our flight. During our Space Grant Symposium, there is a section of this conference that's focused on honoring graduating seniors. And this being my third and final year on this team, I was honored with my white NASA stole at this ceremony.
So at Symposium, we have a breakout session and a poster presentation. Our breakout session is very much what we're doing tonight for you guys. And our poster presentation is we answer questions that people may have, go a little more in depth, and just overall talk more. Now, our conclusions and our future outlook, we want to reliability over complexity. We want to slowly integrate everything while we're developing it. And we also want to teach us and also other students skills that we may use. Now, I know our current team lead, Landry, she will be moving to ASU's Ascend team, and I will be taking over after. Any questions?
How many flights did you do this year with it?
This year we did 2 flights. We do 1 per semester every year.
You mentioned you're the only school in Arizona that participates in this project. Is that because you were the only one selected, or it's just a unique program that we're the only one that offers?
It's partially due to it being a unique program, but as well as our mentor having the connections in those fields and getting us involved with it.
And your mentor is?
John Morse.
Thank you, Mr. Morrison, for leading these students on this effort, certainly.
Yeah, this is amazing. I'm always blown away watching this. A great job. You guys have any new recruits that are going to join your team next year?
We have a few we're currently looking at that are already in high school, but most of our recruits we're hoping to find incoming freshmen next year.
Nice.
How cool is this? This is very exciting. Knowing that we have a program like this for our young youth to participate in. I'm overwhelmed by all this program that you guys are doing, and so it just blows me away that you guys are high school students and doing things like this on a higher level. And so congratulations on all the success, for doing it for 3 years. Thank you. Because you're kind of, stepping up and as a leader and showing what we can do, instead of being just stuck in a rural community, we can actually participate in NASA activities, which is really nice for kids nowadays when they see a SpaceX or anything going up in the air. Did you guys say you went 76,000 feet in the air or 7,600 feet in the air?
76,000.
1,000.
Mhm.
Okay. That's pretty high. Yeah, I was on a flight and it was like 30,000 feet. I'm like, I had to hear it right if it was 70 or what. So
And it's also relatively low compared to other flights we've
is
had.
it really?
Mhm.
Wow.
Is the predicted flight path for this last flight launch was about 92,000.
Wow. In the heavens.
Mm-hmm.
Well, congratulations. And I'm very proud that you guys are doing this and continue to do this to and to the mentor who stepped up and is being a leader as well for our younger generation. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
So board members, you remember back to a few months ago, we had We the People come in. Our We the People team from just ahead qualified for the national championships, and a lot of people were very generous and hustled to be able to get our team back until Washington, D.C. And so tonight we have our 2 advisors, Mr. Shear and Mrs. Flores, along with Victoria Magagorias Melchor. Here, when I went and asked the students all about it, Victoria was the one, you could tell she was the leader of the group and had a lot to share, so I asked her to come in tonight. So Victoria, Mrs. Flores, Mr. Shear, please come forward.
All right. So we have a bunch of photos here, and I'll have Victoria can kind of talk as I go through the photos. Then we have a video at the end. One of our units was recorded. So it's a really long video. So I'm going to show a portion of the opening and then a portion of the free response section. So you can get an idea of what they're doing and the kind of level that they're working at.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Victoria Magoris Melchor. I was a part of Unit 4 for our We the People team. We made it to nationals. This is our presentation on what we did while we were in DC. If you don't know, We the People is a class, and we get to be taught about the Constitution, all of its articles, and then we are asked questions that relate to the Constitution or major questions today. And we are also taught about Supreme Court cases and how they tie into what we're being asked. Our competitions are regional, state, and then if you win state, you go to nationals. We were graced enough to be able to be a part of the John Lewis class. And the John Lewis class is when they pick a school that is of a lower income, and they understand that not every school that has as much money as like more, richer schools, they pick one school and then they send them to DC, and they pay for a lot of it. And we ended up needing around 40,000.
It was a lot more than that.
Well, it was a lot more. I don't remember the exact number. But thanks to amazing sponsors and people who were willing to pay for the trip, we got to go. And this was what we did. So this was us in front of the Capitol, and that was our school shirt. So Mr. Scher made our shirt. So this was our plane ride, as you can see on one side. And that was the Capitol. So we were on the bus when we would pass by the Capitol. We got to ride with 2 other schools. We got to ride from the school from Illinois, their wild card, which is the 2nd place winner in state. And then we got to ride with their New York school. Next one. So we went over to the Union Station. It is basically a very large, fancy food court. We went there and it looked like something that came out of a painting. It was beautiful. You guys can see the statues, and then you look over to your left and there's a Chipotle and a Chick-fil-A. It was possibly one of the most beautiful and confusing moments because you walk in, it's like there's a ballroom. There was a huge ballroom. It was beautiful. And then you look over and you just see like a line of people with fast food. And I'm like, oh, this is the most confusing thing I've ever seen before. So we came here to eat. They gave us free lunch and dinner. So they took us to this food court with the other 2 schools so that we could go and eat there. So this was the first place that we visited. On our way here, we saw many like monuments. We got to see like the Washington Monument and others. So when we got back to the hotel, we were told that we were going to study for our first question. So the next day, we were supposed to have our first question, and Mr. Scher and Mrs. Flores told us that we were going to like go with our groups. So you can see everyone's at a different table. We were all in our different groups, and we were going over our question and like any information we think that we're going to need for the next day. So we were all like working together. Mr. Scher and Mrs. Flores came around and they were giving us practice questions. So questions they made up that might be asked from us. Like basically in the ballpark of what they think might be asked. And we stayed, I think, for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours studying, which was honestly very helpful. So this was Friday. We were in front of the Washington Monument. We got many photos. It was so cool. So we walked around the Washington Monument. And we also, right across the Washington Monument was the Capitol, or not the Capitol, the White House. And we got to see it from far away. It was beautiful. And then we went into a museum of like a slavery museum about like the African American History Museum. So this was us while we were in the ballroom. We were entered and they directed us upstairs over to a huge ballroom where all the, I think there was 12 schools, actually 13 schools were waiting there. and they gave us a presentation about how we made it. It was like amazing. And then they sectioned us off and they sent us to our own different rooms where we went to compete. And I believe that we do have a video at the very end of this presentation of one of our first team, Unit 1, competing, which was really cool. I was so proud of them. So this was our this was the African American History Museum. This was like a very beautiful museum. They had multiple floors, and I learned a lot. So this was they had like the more you went down is the more kind of heavy material you got to see, and then the higher up you went was more of like their culture, and like they had like Martin Luther King and like many staples along with their like music and like clothing. So these are more photos. That waterfall was the most calming and beautiful room I have ever been in. When you walk in and it's just like a huge waterfall, and ringing people, as you can see on the side, are sitting there, and they're and it's just like so calming, and it's just beautiful. These were also other photos from exhibits from the museum. It was a very, very large museum. We were there for, I think, 2 hours, and I didn't even get to see everything because that's how huge it was. So after this, we went to the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial. Was this the same day?
Mhm.
Oh, this was the same day. I was very tired. We went to see so many things. I don't remember what days it was. So this was a Martin Luther King memorial. We got off the bus, and then our tour guide, she was talking about how if you look at the statue, there's something wrong with it. And the thing that we noticed was that it's unfinished because Martin Luther King Jr. was sadly killed before he could finish his work. So, well, that was like on purpose. It looking like it's half finished was on purpose because of that. It was very beautiful, and on the walls you could see many quotes from Martin Luther King Jr. And it was all across the walls, and it was like beautiful. There was also a huge garden. We all got to take a photo together. If you guys can see that one, or yeah, the one on the very right. It was very beautiful. Next, we went to the Franklin D. Roosevelt Memorial. Our tour told us a very fun fact that he actually wanted a memorial, if they were to make one for him, to be the size of his desk. And this one was 5 or 4 rooms large. So it was a very, very large memorial. They had sectioned it into different rooms, basically from different terms of his presidency. They had one of the rooms was like a man huddled next to a radio because Roosevelt used to do fireside chats where he would like talk, and it would kind of connect him with the people. Unfortunately, the water was shut off. So there was like supposed to be this beautiful water part, and we did not get to see it. This was the Jefferson Memorial. It was beautiful. There was prom going on at that same time. So unfortunately, when we went, it was crowded, and it was very, very hard to see through everything. This was Mr. Scher taking a photo with 2 people that were not even from our class. They had to take a photo with him. And they were like, "We love your hair. Can we take a photo with you guys?" And
cool beard. Can we get a photo?
yeah. And then they took a photo. So that was the Thomas Jefferson Memorial. Then we went to the Pentagon 9/11 Memorial. This was very emotional, especially since they had organized it from age. So the closest it was to the entrance was the youngest, and then the farthest away was the oldest. And to visually see how many people had lost their life that day was very, very emotional. These were kind of like benches. They encouraged you to sit there and reflect. And there was actually a reflection pool with the people's names on the side of the benches. Like those cement things were like benches. Very, 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 very emotional for me. So this was Saturday. So this was, we went to the Library of Congress. We went to go see the Senate and the Capitol building. This one is of the Capitol. The Capitol, we were so, so excited to be able to go inside. These are all like different photos. We got the front and the back. So the back is that first photo on the very left, and then the front is the one on the very top right. So it was very, very, actually, it was very nice that day. It wasn't hot, it wasn't cold. It was very, very nice. This was all of us in front of there. After we had done eating, we went inside, we looked at the statues, and when we had to go eat, like we went to go eat, and we were on a time crunch because we also shared a bus with 2 other schools, and they were waiting for us to finish up. So we took photos in front of the back and the front of the Capitol building, and it was very, very cool. This was the Supreme Court building. So fun fact, I think it was the next day or the day after, they had closed off the Supreme Court. So I think it was because our tour guide said that there was a like high profile case going on that day, which I thought was very cool. They had 2 fountains on the sides of the Supreme Court building, and you could look inside, and it was like so beautiful and clean. They kept very good care of it, which honestly, I don't know why I was surprised about that. I walked up and I was like, oh, it's clean. And my friend was like, why wouldn't it be clean? So these are the statues that we saw. These are very, very, the first one on the left and the one on the right are from Arizona. So every state gets their own statue, and they get 2 actually. And those 2 were the ones that are for Arizona. The one that is on the left, that statue, the one that's not copper, yeah, that statue was inside of the dome of this Capitol. And then the one that's on the left, oh my God, right, that one, sorry, that one was on the outside. So while you were waiting to go in line to go inside and do the tour, you could see that one. And honestly, there was many, many different statues. I believe one of them was of Helen Keller. Mm-hmm. And we got to see all of the states had picked someone to represent them. So this inside the Capitol building was possibly one of the most beautiful paintings and like murals that I had ever seen. If you look at the one in the middle, that one has George Washington in the middle of it. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of hard to see, but George Washington's up there and he's looking down at you, and it was huge. There was also paintings. I think there was 8 paintings all along the side of the walls. And honestly, like I walk in and I'm just like overwhelmed by how much there is. Everything is so detailed, and like it was like very impactful. I'm looking around and I don't know what to start. Like I don't know where to start. Do I start the paintings? Do I look up? Do I look at the statues? Because there was still statues there. And I took maybe like, I think we were there for like 10 minutes and we were looking around and we got to like really take in everything while our tour guide was talking. Then afterwards, because we had missed our prom to go to DC, the place where they were hosting our competition, they gave us a little mini prom. So there was, yeah, it was very, very nice. This is all of us. That group photo is all of us outside right before we go in. And then you can see the picture of us while we're at the prom. Believe it or not, even though the dance floor looks very, very like empty, I don't know when, but I look over and it's just everyone has left their seats and they're all dancing. And I'm still sitting there with my slice of pizza and soda. And I'm like, oh, when did everyone get up? When did I miss the memo? It was, oh yeah, there you go. It was a very, very packed. I remember I looked over, someone got crowd surfed and I was like looking over, I was like, oh, I hope that's not our team. And then it was our team, by the way. They sent a video in our band group chat, and I look and I open it, and it's one of our teammates being crowd surfed on top, and I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, it was our team. But it was a very, very fun night, and at the end, they announced who made it to finals. Sadly, we did not make it to the final top 10. Top 10? We did not make it to the final top 10, but it was a very, very, it was like a very good journey, honestly. So then we had Sunday. On Sunday, we went to a museum. It was a natural history museum. As you can see, they got sharks. They had a lot of gift shops. We went there to eat too. It was actually very interesting. When I went to the East, I don't know what I was expecting, but all they had was chicken and pork. And there was not a single other food to eat there. I remember we went to go order DoorDash, and we ordered Filibertos. And there was no Filibertos at all in like the last 3 states surrounding us. And I was so confused. The most Mexican place I could go to eat was Chipotle. And I was horrified. I was like, they are not open right now. What are we going to do? So it was just fried chicken. The entire 5 days we were there, lunch and dinner was fried chicken. And it was quite an experience. I've never grown to hate fried chicken after that. That's all I had to eat. So this was the White House garden tour. There was only 2 days in the spring and 2 days in the fall where people are allowed to get tickets and go inside of the White House's garden and tour it. And our tour guide had gotten up, and I remember I saw her down in the lobby, and I was like, "Oh, good morning, Miss. Where are you headed?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get tickets for you guys. So I'm gonna go wait in line to get you guys tickets into the White House." And it was amazing. We walk in, there was heavy security, but I was talking to Secret Service, and I was like, "How'd you guys get the job?" And they said, "Oh, Google." I was like, "Google? I didn't know it was that easy." But we walk in, they check all of our stuff. Our tour guide was very specific. You can't bring this, you can't bring this. No, anything with any water, unless it's completely sealed. You guys, they will not let you in, even if you have a ticket. But once we got in, they had trees from every single president had planted their own tree, and they had a picture and some information about it and a pamphlet they gave you. And if you walk down halfway through the tour, you got to be that close to the White House. And honestly, there was a band. If you look in the middle photo, you can kind of see the microphones because there was a live band playing music. And I stood there and I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is amazing." We got so close that if Secret Service didn't see me, I could have sprinted up the stairs really quick. I would have gotten tackled, but it doesn't mean you can't do it. You're just gonna get in trouble for it. So if you see, there is another boy in the jean jacket and also jeans. He is from the Illinois team. He is a honorary Vista Grande student. He sat with us every day. Yeah, he sat with us every single day. He talked to us every single day. He learned our names. And even if we only knew him for 5 days, he was possibly one of the nicest students I have ever met. He was so kind, and he just wanted to talk to us, and he wanted to get to know us. It was amazing. And then there's our other photos I wasn't in that photo. I didn't know when they took that photo, but I was not there. But these are photos of majority of the people. I think I was too busy talking to Secret Service the entire time. I was asking them about their job. And they also had we got to see the Rose Garden from right next to the White House. So this is their tulip. So they had a huge fountain and surrounded by tulips. I had never seen a tulip in person before, and they're so beautiful. And I'm very upset that nobody showed me a tulip before. You can see the Washington Monument if you go in front of the White House and then you take a photo, which is what they did in the middle one, you can see the Washington Monument and the Jefferson Memorial. That is in the very, very back. You can see the little white dome. That's the Jefferson Memorial. This was the executive building, and then the American Red Cross building. We went to go, we were waiting for another school to finish up, so we went to go to a little mini museum to use the restroom. It was a museum of Texas, I was shocked that they had a museum of Texas, but not a museum of Arizona. I was a little upset. I was like, "Where's our museum?" So these were the very cool buildings that we got to see while we were passing by. There was huge black gates that said "Do not enter." This was, sorry guys, I have to hurry up. This was after everything. I talked too much, sorry. This was after everything. So when they were announcing who won, this was where we were sitting. This was Monday. We got to go see the National Archives. This was Magna Carta, not the 1215 version. This was the Constitution of America. It was very, very huge and also very worn out. They said no flash photography. I was very sad because I couldn't take photos. This is Mrs. Flores with the Bill of Rights. That was very cool. It was the Bill of Rights and the Tennessee ratification of the 19th Amendment, which that was the little one. That's the Bill of Rights. And then we have a very cool umbrella, very American. We were walking to the Arlington National Cemetery, and this is the Arlington National Cemetery. It was a very beautiful. We got to see different graves, and we got to see the internal flame. We got hailed on. halfway through, it was very painful and confusing. I was like, "What? It feels like it's raining, but it hurts."
If you zoom in, you can see the hail.
Yeah, if you look, there's like little streaks.
Yeah.
So we got to see the changing of the guard and the tomb of the unknown soldiers. So that's the this is the changing of the guard. It was very, very intense. You could like feel how powerful, like how, I don't know the word. It was very impactful. It was very like meaningful. And then this is the Lincoln Memorial. We went after, it just stopped hailing after we left the cemetery. So this is where Martin Luther King stood when he gave his I Have a Dream speech. This is the Lincoln Memorial. We all get to stand there and take our photo. Lincoln is actually very tall. I didn't know he was going to be that tall. I thought it was an exaggeration when they're like, "Oh, he's huge." And then like we got there and I was like, "Oh my goodness." The birds loved him. We kept seeing birds land there, but there was no poop. So I guess they like actually just liked him. So this is another group photo and then a little mini group photo that they took and then sent in the band app. This was outside the Lincoln Memorial. So we were still there, but we just moved in front. And then if you see on that future, they had to fix it because they accidentally made a typo and they put an E instead of an F. So Mr. Sher noticed that and he included it in there. We got to see the Women's Memorial in Vietnam. There were 8 women who sadly passed away, and they made a little memorial for them. And that was the Women's Memorial. This was the entering Vietnam. So this was the memorial we saw when we entered Vietnam. This was the Vietnam Memorial. It was it was like maybe 3 of me's at that very like small dip. There's maybe 3 of me's and they're full of names. And I have never been able to visualize war until that moment. And it was very, very sad for me. This is a Korean War Memorial. We went to all of these in the same day. So it was a lot of walking. This is Freedom is Not Free. That was like a huge like kind of like engraving that they had, as you can see. And then Mr. Sher was taking a photo of it. We went to the airport to go home because we had to get there, I think, 2 hours early because the Illinois team and us were sharing a bus. So they dropped us off 2 hours early. And you can see that that's Mr. Sher. That's me and Wajia. She was falling asleep, and Mr. Sher, and people were like taking photos, and Mr. Sher was taking photos. There was a video of everyone asleep on the flight because it was a 5-hour flight. So this is the competition photos. So this is Christopher on the very top. There's Christopher, Colton, and Mr. Sher. Then the next photo is Michael, me, and Baltazar. This was orientation. So when they were talking to us about how we made it. This is Colton and Mila. And in the very side, you can see that's TJ. They were our unit 2. This is Baltazar sleeping on the bus. And you can see Pablo's right next to him taking the photo. And then
we're actually out of time. I don't know.
Yeah, this was the video that they had.
But I'll get that link sent out. So
It's actually posted on Word Doc, so if
Okay.
if anybody that goes into that, I have it posted, they can go into that.
Oh, okay. Okay, it's on
See
board
the
docs.
excitement of a young lady.
I'm so sorry I took up so much of your time. I didn't notice until they told me. If you guys have any questions, I'm sure that we can answer them.
Lisa, how many steps did you walk?
We walked 25 miles in 5 days.
Wow.
That's 5 miles a day.
Yeah.
So again, we thank all the sponsors that made this trip happen. We thank obviously the group sponsors that also made this happen. It was a wonderful trip that they will never forget. So we appreciate that support. So thank you very much.
I can't even express my gratitude to our sponsors who paid for this because I had never, I think where I can remember genuinely the whole trip, had never even left the state. I got to go on a plane for the first time. I got to leave the state like in a time that I can remember. And I got to doing what I love. I love public speaking and I love competition.
Really?
I do.
Really?
If you guys couldn't tell, I love public speaking.
We would have never guessed that. Never at all.
I would rather miss prom 10,000 times than miss this trip once. This was how much it meant to me.
Well, congratulations.
Yes.
If you get a chance, definitely check out that video because it gives you really an idea of what they're doing and the level that they're at. Thank you.
That's it, sir.
All right. And that can be found on the board docs website via the district website link. Yeah. All right. So if anyone's interested in seeing that video, then that's where you can find it. All right. So we're going to go ahead and convene and move into our regular meeting then. Mary, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Wilkie,
Here.
Mrs. Harrington,
Here.
Mr. Hayes,
Here?
Jordan,
Here.
and Mr. Powell.
Here.
All right. I invite you all to please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of contemplation and reflection.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on to preliminary items. We need to adopt the agenda. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda for May 11th as presented?
I'll make a motion. We adopt the agenda for May 11th as presented.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Mary, please call for the vote.
Yes.
Mrs. Harrington,
Yes.
Mr. Hayes,
Yes?
Mr. Jordan,
Yes.
and Mr. Powell.
Yes.
All right. Minutes from prior meetings. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes from April 13th and 21st as presented?
Mr. President, I move to approve the minutes of April 13th and 21st, 2026 as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Mary, please call for the vote.
Mr. Wilkie,
Yes.
Mrs. Harrington,
Yes.
Mr. Hayes,
Yes?
Jordan,
Yes.
and Mr. Powell.
Yes.
All right, moving on to recognitions, Mr. Lavender.
Good evening, President Hayes, governing board members. At this time, we're going to recognize our Rotary Students of the Month. Representing the Casa Grande Rotary Club tonight is our board member, Kelly Harrington, who, if she would join up at the podium, the first student we'll recognize is the Vista Grande Student of the Month. Mr. Hubbard, please.
Good evening, Governing Board, Mr. Lavender. Vista Grande is honored to present Jamie Hernandez as our Student of the Month. Come on up here. I have this very long, well-written thing from our lead counsel, Mia Khan, so I'll do my best to read it. Mr. Hernandez here has been actively involved in a wide range of clubs, organizations throughout high school, demonstrating both leadership and commitment. He has served in student council as sophomore secretary, junior vice president, the current senior class president. He has also dedicated a number of National Society hours where he's had roles as junior officer and later president. Additionally involved in Key Club, Upward Bound, Link Crew, FCCLA, AP Club, tennis manager, and Mu Alpha Theta. In addition to school activities, he has volunteered at the Banner Medical Regional Center, an experience that has built his confidence and strengthened his interpersonal skills. Over the course of 4 years, he's accumulated more than 315 hours of community service. Outside of school, he enjoys crocheting, sewing, spending time with friends, and thrifting. While remaining highly involved, he also maintains high academic focus, graduating cum laude and earned recognition as an AP scholar with honors. He has received the National Community Service Award Ambassador twice and has been selected as the recipient of the Dorrance Scholarship, a highly competitive award valued at over $100,000 and granted to approximately 60 students in the state of Arizona each year. As a first-generation college student, he plans on attending the U of A to pursue a degree in nursing with a long-term goal of earning a master's degree and becoming a nurse practitioner. He values living with an open mind and leading with empathy, recognizing the importance of understanding others and impacts that kindness can make. He extends a heartfelt gratitude to his family, friends, advisors, teachers for their unwavering support and for the many opportunities that have contributed to his journey. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hernandez.
I know.
If you want to put the letter behind it so you can see that it's on the. Yeah, there we go. Very good. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Next is Dr. Lineberry, who will introduce the Casa Grande Union Student of the Month.
Good evening, Governing Board. Good evening, Superintendent Lavender. I just want to say that the young lady that was up here was mine when she was in kindergarten. So I think I may have influenced her ability to speak a lot. I do have a tremendous honor tonight to be able to recognize an outstanding young man, Mr. Sawyer Barth. Sawyer, you want to come up? So Sawyer is an exceptional young man whose resilience, leadership, and dedication to serving others make him truly deserving of the Rotary Student of the Month. Throughout high school, he's challenged himself academically through honors, AP, dual enrollment coursework, has maintained a 4.57 GPA while earning Academic Excellence Award all 4 years. He also earned the distinction of graduating with honors for maintaining above a 3.5 GPA, passing three AP exams with a score of 3 or higher. Beyond the classroom, Sawyer has devoted himself to leadership and service. He served on the Casa Grande Youth Commission for 4 years and currently serves as president, demonstrating his passion for improving his community. He participated in football his freshman year, was involved in DECA for 3 years while serving on the board his junior year, and has been an active member of student council, serving as a freshman class president, junior class vice president, and now student body president. He's also served as a youth leader at Passion Church throughout high school. In December 2022, just 2 days after Christmas, Sawyer was diagnosed with B-cell ALL leukemia. He spent the following year hospitalized, undergoing chemotherapy, and completing school through homebound learning. Even while facing imaginable challenges, Sawyer never lost his determination for heart or service. Although he scaled back activities during treatment, he remained involved whenever possible and used his passion for serving the Casa Grande community as motivation to keep fighting with grit and tenacity. Raised by his mother, Christina Barth, alongside his late father, Benjamin Barth, Sawyer credits his family for shaping his strength and character. His sister, Ella, attends ASU, while his brother, Gunnar, plays football at Carleton College. Looking ahead, Sawyer matched through Quest Bridge to Duke University, where he plans to study law before ultimately pursuing a career in corporate and transactional law, and one day running for state or federal office. You saw it here first, Sawyer for president. His goal is to serve as a congressional or White House intern, as well as City of Casa Grande summer intern, continuing his lifelong passion for leadership and public service. His teacher, Miss Gretchen Plegenkuhl, shared, Sawyer is an exceptional young man with a very bright future. He's thoughtful, both as a student and a person. I'm thankful to have him as a student, especially as he always got my jokes. I look forward to seeing his upcoming accomplishments. Additionally, teacher and librarian Miss Lisa Demers shared, it is an honor to recognize Sawyer as the Rotary Student of the Month. While he's an excellent student, it is his character and leadership that truly shine. Sawyer is a light. He leads both quietly and boldly, always lifting others without seeking recognition. He doesn't walk into a room for attention. He walks in and makes it better through kindness, integrity, and heart. What many may not realize is Sawyer has already faced and survived more challenges than most adults ever will. Sawyer once shared that I inspired him. This is from Miss Demarest. Once shared that I inspired him, but I believe inspiration often works both ways. He's been a steady reminder of kindness, resilience, and humor when they matter most. As he prepares to graduate and begin his next chapter at Duke University, I have no doubt this is just the beginning. Wherever he goes, Sawyer will continue to make a difference. And speaking from my favorite title, Bonus Mom, again, this is Miss Demarest. Sawyer, cheering you on has been an absolute honor. And do not forget about your Casa Grande family. Go shine. And yes, around here, we proudly say Sawyer for president. So, ladies and gentlemen, Sawyer Barth.
Thank you so much.
All right, 1, 2, 3, cheese. Awesome.
One of the things that Sawyer did recently, he sat down for an interview with Joe Martinez, talking about his journey, the next steps in that. And Dr. Lineberry is going to be sending it out tomorrow to all the Casa Grande Union students to watch. At first, when I saw it was 33 minutes, I thought, oh, but when I watched it, there wasn't a part of it that I could say you should eliminate because his message is so powerful. So Sawyer, thank you for doing that as well. Next is our PACE headmaster, Mrs. Monica Diaz.
Good evening, governing board members and Mr. Lavender. I'd like to ask Serenity Neubauer to join me, please. At PACE, one of our core values is growth, and Serenity truly embodies what that means. Throughout her time at PACE, she has demonstrated tremendous personal growth by facing challenges with courage, determination, and resilience. No matter the obstacle, Serenity approaches each experience with the mindset that challenges are opportunities to learn, grow, and become stronger. Her perseverance and commitment is continual growth inspire both her peers and the adults who work with her each day. Serenity is a student who sets meaningful goals and works consistently toward achieving them. She is determined to graduate, attend college, and pursue a career in the behavioral health field. We see her taking intentional steps towards those goals every day. She advocates for herself, seeks out opportunities, and reflects on her progress, all while continuing to support and lift up others around her. Serenity reminds us that growth is not defined by the absence of challenges, but by the strength and determination to continue moving forward. She brings kindness, warmth, and a quiet sense of leadership wherever she goes. It is our honor and privilege to recognize Serenity this evening as PACE's Student of the Month.
Next, Lisa Miller will come up and introduce our CTE Students of the Month. Mrs. Miller.
Good evening, President Hayes, school board members, and our public. It's very nice to come up and recognize students. And how do I follow all of that? There's a lot of recognition going on tonight. So first, I want to start with our Vista Grande student from Technical Theater, which is part of a stagecraft program, and that is Eshrayla Adams. Hi. They say congratulations. And now I'm going to say all the words that Mr. Harding gave us. So she's here with Patricia Davis, and that's mom. So she has already shown a lot in terms of leadership, team building, and a willingness to learn. Despite being a first-year student, she's thrown herself into the technical work. After just a few introductory procedures, Eshrayla has already practically mastered our analog soundboard. I'm impressed already because that thing's pretty big. She was able to create a microphone schedule that allowed 22 cast members to share 12 microphones. And she did this with only one example to work from. Eshrayla has been one of our most reliable technicians, preferring to lead by example by always being at rehearsal. We don't require our technicians to be at all rehearsals and being prepared to work during them. Her willingness to learn anything new means that we can rely on her to do any job we ask of her, and we know she will do an amazing job. Congratulations. Shake your hand. And if the family wants to come up, we'll take a picture here in just a second. Sorry. All right, and from Casa Grande Union High School this evening, we're recognizing a student in the automotive program, and that is Kenny Marinakis. Nice to meet you. Whole time. And I'm assuming your parents are here?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So we have Daryl and Venice Marinakis with us. And these are the words from Mr. Stewart, his automotive teacher. Kenny has been selected as Student of the Month in the automotive program for his outstanding attitude and work ethic. He consistently demonstrates motivation in the shop and is always willing to jump in to help others, and he takes on new tasks without hesitation. He has a strong foundational understanding of automotive principles and continues to build his skills each day. Kenny's positive mindset and dedication make him a valuable part of the program and set a great example for his peers. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So as you know, May is the time of the year where we stop and thank all of our educators for their sacrifices and their hard work supporting our students. And as we've done in the last few years, I've asked our student body presidents to come tonight and recognize the May Employees of the Month and select the May Employees of the Month. So first, the president of Vista Grande High School, Layla Guy.
The person that I chose for the Teacher of the Month, this person I've known since my freshman year. I was the unofficial president, and he actually helped me through my entire process of becoming the unofficial president instead of just not having a position. Honestly, anytime that I'm there, anytime that I am at school, even or outside of school, he's always there. He's always like a shoulder that isn't physically with me. This person, I kind of feel like they're my probably second or third dad at this point, because I spend way too much time outside of my house, and I'm most likely doing something either with or for him for the council. And so even today, for an example, I was literally pouring my heart out in the classroom, and he had me like shut the door just so that I could actually have a safe space to tell the people that I needed to about what was going on with me and my situations. So this lovely, lovely Teacher of the Month is Nathan Sheeler.
Just the two ladies I spend most of my time with.
Next is our Casa Grande Union High School our president, Mr. Sawyer Bark.
All right. And it's an honor to be here to do this. And I have chosen to honor Mr. Ray Mark Cariquez for our Teacher Appreciation Celebration. Mr. Cariquez. Thank you. All right. Mr. Cariquez was my pre-calculus teacher for my junior year of high school. He was an effective math teacher that broke down complicated subjects into comprehensible concepts that allowed me to flourish within his classroom. His ability to teach restored my self-esteem when it came to understanding math, reminding me that I was capable of understanding complex subjects. But beyond his effective teaching ability, Mr. Cariquez impacted me in a much more meaningful way. At one point, while in his class, I was undergoing the peak of cancer treatment. At one point, I had gotten very, very ill and had visited the emergency room 3 times in a span of 7 days. Because of the relentless fevers and ruthless side effects of chemotherapy, I had to miss 2 weeks of school, or an entire math unit. Before returning to school, I was very concerned about catching up and being prepared for the unit exam after missing so much instructional time. Upon the day of my return, Mr. Cariquez pulled me aside and let me know that he was going to exempt the unit, understanding my circumstances and showing genuine compassion for my situation. He then shared with me the story about his father's battle with cancer and how he understood the difficulties of the disease. This simple gesture is among the kindest actions I have ever received by a teacher. It is one I will never forget. Mr. Cariquez's understanding of the humanity behind the art of teaching has made an impact on my life and sets a clear example for other teachers to follow. This is what really matters. This is why teachers change lives. Mr. Cariquez changed mine.
Thank you. I didn't know that was just a tribute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I asked his mother to join this as well. We certainly knew this was a family.
1, 2, 3.
Next, we want to honor Mark Luna. If Coach Luna would please join me, as well as Dr. Lineberry. As we all know, Coach Luna was our head football coach for the Casa Grande Union for 4 years. And I used to tell people all the time we had the hardest working football coach in the state of Arizona because he was a full-time welder. He was running a youth program full-time. He was a dad, and he was running the football program as well. And we were all worried if he was going to be able to sustain that. And we know this year Mark made the decision that he needed to pull back a little bit, focus on his family and stuff. And it's a decision that I supported 100%. But at the same time, Mark needs to be recognized for his dedication to our athletes here at Casa Grande Union. The 4 years as head coach, never having a losing record. The team always played hard. But where Mark really changed our community and the success of our football program in our community is what he did with the youth programs. He started with the team that won the state title and working with them as early as second and third grade and developing those players through the Crush program that he operates, and then coached them as freshmen in high school and assisted them as well. And so we have a trophy tonight for you, Coach. It says, "Wow, Coach Mark Lunar, builder of men and championship players." And Mark, I'm going to ask Dr. Lineberry as well to come up now, because I know he's got something for you as well. But also, Chris, if you want to talk real quick about, and then present him his gift as well.
So as Superintendent Lavender said, I've been at Union for 3 years, and during that time, I had the pleasure to work with Mark as the head coach. And, coaches have a big job, and the wins are important, but that's not what it's really about. It's about shaping young people. And Mark, you have a talent for that. And we were lucky to have you, truly. And this is just a small token of my appreciation. It says, Coach Mark Luna, homegrown, hard-driven, and Union's own.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Thank you.
So Mark, if you could go through the line. If you want to hand that, we'll keep it here. I'm going to ask the mini Marks to join me up here, please. These are Mark's two sons. Sir, why don't you carry one for him? And sir, why don't you carry the other one for him as well?
They're not that many.
No, they're not.
One at a time.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Mark, member Powell wants to know if you want to say anything, sir.
Sure. I don't want to keep everybody, because I talk a lot too. So, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It started 12 years ago when I was just a freshman head coach at Union with Coach Barrow. Dr. Goodsell gave me an opportunity to coach there, and I never looked back. One of the biggest things was I do love working with kids. I want to see our community and the kids in our community be successful. I had the honor of coaching 47 kids that went on to play college football that I was a part of, not only from my youth organization, but there as well at the high school. And then we just added 4 more, so it makes a total 51 this past year with the boys that just signed recently. The biggest thing, though, is the community that I'm from. I love Casa Grande. I love Casa Grande Union. I love being a Cougar. I swear I bleed blue and gold. It's just, I knew it was a time that it needed a change when you see the same person over and over and over, and you have them from youth football through high school, you kind of get that same resilient, or I should say, not resilient. You have that same, I can't even think of the word right now. I apologize. That not understanding that you're trying to change somebody and show them the best because they think you're just on them all the time. And I couldn't do it anymore. So I felt it was time that they needed a new face in there. They needed somebody that they could learn from, just like we had previously when I was just an assistant with Jake, and I would ring him up and then I would hand him over to him and then he would groom them to what we needed so that way they could accomplish what they accomplished. So again, I appreciate the opportunity, everybody who was by my side, and Mr. Lavender for understanding that, I did need to take a little break there for a little bit. Didn't last long. So, but, I'm just blessed for the opportunity. Hopefully one day, I can always come back if the opportunity is right, and, lead our young men again. I still run the youth program here, so that's never going to change. I'm always going to be around. Thank you.
At this time, we are going to take a brief pause in the proceedings so that those of you who are here to support someone who's being recognized tonight can leave if you so desire. You're more than welcome to stay. However, at this time, this is your opportunity to leave, but we thank you for coming this evening.
August 28th, ESPN, 6 p.m. We'll be on national TV, so you can watch us.
All right, Mr. Lavender.
Yes, sir. The first thing I'm going to do for the superintendent report tonight is ask Mr. David Owen and Mr. Frank Armenta to please come up to the podium. So I wanted to introduce both of these gentlemen to you tonight. Mr. Armenta, we approved his contract, I think it was April 15th, 16th. He's coming to us from Tucson Unified School District, where he is currently the assistant superintendent for development. He has been a principal for 14 years at Troya High School, assistant principal, and we're excited to have him joining our family here. And then Mr. Owen has agreed to accept the position, if you approve it tonight, as the headmaster at Pace to build that program. He has been an elementary principal now, coming up on 20 years, both in the Casa Grande Elementary School District at Mesquite, Cactus, and Cottonwood, as well as up at Tempe at McCamey, College Prep Academy, and Meyer Elementary. And he brings a wealth of experience as well. I had the opportunity to chat briefly today with Frank, so he knows I'm going to ask him to say a quick hello. David, I was hoping to be able to say it between the transitions of the two meetings, and I didn't, David, so I'll let Frank go so you can think about it. Okay. Frank says his quick hello. And also, Frank, if you would introduce your wife.
Yeah. Good evening, Governing Board President Hayes, members of the Governing Board. I was going to say board staff, but we're going to call her Mary. I met her the other day, and Superintendent Lavender. This is my wife, Kimberly Armenta. I will introduce her as someone who is probably the most incredible academic tutor that I have ever had. I like to always tell people that she is the one that made me believe in me that college was for me. I never believed that until I met her. So it was something that I was really excited about. So I have a few words. So good evening. It's a privilege and honor to stand here before you tonight. I want to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to the hiring committee for the time they dedicated throughout this process. I also want to thank everyone who attended the community forum at Union, the students, teachers, and support staff and board members. Hearing your voices directly was an invaluable experience and reinforced why I want to be here as Union's principal. Union is a special place. To see a school with over 100 years of tradition backed by such a passionate and active alumni presence is truly humble. I am truly humbled and inspired. I apologize. I would also like to thank Dr. Lineberry and the current school leaders at Union. The foundation they have built here is exceptional, and the standard of excellence in Union is a testament to their hard work. It's an honor to join the team to continue the dedication of inspiring excellence in every student and every day. I stand here tonight feeling incredibly humbled to be considered for the role of principal. I'm deeply grateful for the warm welcome that I have received, and above all, excited for the future of our students and the continued success at the Union Cougar family. I want to give a special thanks to a couple of people. First of all, Kevin, I want to thank him for being such a nice person. He's embraced me and told me that it was okay to be here. Jose Munoz, who has also kind of shadowed me and told me, like, these are things you go, don't walk there, come here, let's come around here. So it's been nice to see that. I've also had the opportunity to meet several students. Obviously, I want to go see Forrest the pig. I'm excited about that. I don't know about the turkey, but I will look at the pig. But, you know, I met Sawyer and Seth the other night at the Senior Sunset, and they were just an amazing group of young men who kind of were ushering me to the things that I should, you know, do for students and where I should, you know, emphasis. I also met a young lady, her name is Destiny with a Z, who also told me that there are things that I need to do as a principal. But the two young ladies that I met were freshmen. I think one is Addie and Natalie, and they're both students of parents who work at Union, and they're excited. They're excited for me to come along, and they said that I'm going to make a few mistakes, but it's okay because one of them is a tumbler, and she says, I still have my little wrist on, and we're okay. You're going to make some errors, but I just want to thank you again, Mr. Lavender, for this opportunity, and I look forward to being here and part of your community. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is David Owen. My family's not here, but they are watching. So if I could say hi to Danny and the kids, 4 kids, Maya, Gael, Samuel, and Hope. I do have a few words. First, I'm going to start off with President Hayes, President Pro Temp Harrington, board members, Mr. Wilkie, Mrs. Jordan, Mr. Powell, Superintendent Lavender, members of the public. Good evening. Happy Monday. On behalf of myself and my family, I want to sincerely thank the board for the opportunity to serve as the incoming leader and champion for the students of Pace High School and be able to work alongside such a dedicated and caring staff. I shared with Superintendent Lavender that I view this opportunity as both a professional gift and an incredible learning experience, and I'm honored to be part of a school community with such a strong heart and potential. Last Friday, I participated in listening sessions with current junior, sophomore, and freshman PACE students. These conversations provided valuable insight into what students appreciate most about their school. Our PACE students consistently highlighted the strong one-on-one support and caring relationships with teachers and peers, the freedom to work at their own pace, the welcoming small community atmosphere, flexible and open learning spaces, and opportunities for personal growth through electives, career readiness, field trips, and community experiences. Students also expressed the areas where they hope to see continued growth, to include increasing hands-on and project-based learning, expanding field trips, internships and career exploration opportunities, adding more teachers and academic support, strengthening school culture through improved communication, activities, sports, flexibility, and strong student connections. Students also shared thoughtful ideas regarding electives they would like to see, maintain, or introduce to the future, to include culinary arts, music, band, PE, weight training, coding, technology, art and fine arts, drama and theater, construction and trades, business and entrepreneurship, financial literacy and service learning. Additional interests included psychology, film studies, JROTC, architecture, mechanics, gaming, esports, debate, and language courses. Wonderful feedback that I received from our students. Most importantly, students express gratitude for the educators and staff members who invested in them daily. I too want to be one of those educators going forward. Their voices reinforce my excitement about supporting student success and helping PACE continue to grow and thrive. Thank you again for this opportunity to serve as headmaster of PACE High School this upcoming school year, and I look forward to sharing some wonderful student learning experiences going forward. I too want to take the opportunity to thank Mrs. Diaz for help mentoring me in how to transition and meet with students, coordinating, as well as Natalie Clement. They have been wonderful mentors to me in helping with the transition, and I hope it continues. But again, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Just a couple real quick items. President Hayes, we want to congratulate Vista Grande softball team for qualifying for state, although they were knocked out in the first round. Also, Casa Grande Union and Vista Grande qualified for state, winning their first round game and then losing their second round game. I know track field competed this weekend, but I have not seen the results for them yet. Also, May is a very busy month for awards. I want to thank Vista Grande for a wonderful presentation last Thursday night for their Scholar Awards, and then this Wednesday night at 6 o'clock will be Casa Grande Union. Also, there are all kinds of summer camps for students to remain involved this summer, and we encourage people to go to our website and see what's available as well. Graduation is coming for Union, and it'll be Tuesday, May 19th at 8 o'clock. Parking is going to be an issue out there with the improvements to Truckle Road and construction at McCartney. The elementary district has been gracious in partnering with us, allowing guests to park at both Vista Grande and the Early Childhood Center, not Vista Grande, in Belago and the Early Childhood Center, and we will be running shuttles that night from Belago to the Early Childhood Center, dropping off at Union. We'll have, I think, 5 buses continuing going from 5:30 through the end of graduation. So that's a safe place for parents to park as well. Paces will be here on Wednesday night, May 20th at 7:30, and Vistas will be on Thursday night, May 21st at 8 o'clock. We were also sad this last week. Our district recently was a sponsor for the Pinal 40 annual dinner, in which they gave the Lifetime Achievement Award to Bob Rittenell and honored his 101 years of life, as well as his service to our country. Bob did pass away on Wednesday morning, and so we extend our well wishes to his family and thoughts and prayers. And then our former board president, Dick Powell, who served on our governing board as well as the Casa Grande City Council for 24 years, passed away on Monday night. We give our condolences to the Powell family as well. And that's my report tonight, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Lavender. All right, matters reserved for board action. 5.1 ASBA policy advisories, 961 through 1016. Are there any questions or comments from the board regarding this? All right. Then do we have a motion to approve the second reading and adoption as presented?
I will move to approve it as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Mary, please call for the vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. AT Direct Sports Medicines renewal. Do we have any questions or comments from the board regarding that?
I have a couple questions. Being new to this, is this standard procedure to outsource the training, athletic director, the training process?
Our preference would always be able to hire within the house, but there's a shortage in finding certified trainers. So by doing this, we're allowed to contract a certified trainer to support the program for our after-school time.
Okay. And this covers both schools?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All year long?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. No other questions, sir?
Any other questions?
No.
All right. Do we then have a motion to approve renewal of the contract with AT Direct Sports Medicine for fiscal year 26-27 as presented?
Mr. President, I'll move to approve the renewal of the AT Direct Sports Medicine contract for fiscal year 26-27 as presented.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Mary, please call for the vote.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, 5.3, fiscal year 26 revised expenditure budget. Mr. Lavender?
Thank you, President Hayes. Our Executive Director for Business Operations, Mrs. Price, will handle this agenda item, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Lavender. So this is just an annual process that we do every May, and this just provides the district with the opportunity to revise and finalize our current year expenditure budget to reflect our ADM, so our average daily membership, funding updates, and then spending current needs. You should have in front of you a one-page summary of changes. Addressed are our three main funds. So the first being M&O, our general budget limit. You can see that there's a decrease of about $762,000. This is by choice. We're opting to move $500,000 from our M&O budget because we have a carryover to meet capital needs. Two big projects that are going on this summer, in addition to the other $7.5 million that we had to borrow, are our tracks at both main sites. The surfaces need to be redone, including the asphalt that's below the surface. So it's going to be about $800,000 cost to resurface both tracks. They have been needing to be done, and it sounds like we've been putting a Band-Aid and trying to get away with as much, and we just gotten to that point where they need to be repaired. So we're opting to move some of our budget capacity to help cover that cost. Luckily for us, you can see the revenue control limit. That is our funding calculation that the state does. It dropped from our September revision by about $1 million, and that had to do with our ADM. This is something that we've communicated, that we've been aware of. There was a significant drop in our ADM this year. Luckily, we had some incoming funding that helped offset that. So if we had chosen not to move over that money to meet capital needs, our deficit would have been about $260,000, which is, like I said, average for current year ADM changes. Number two is our capital budget limit. The only change that we're seeing, significant change, is the increase that we're moving over, like I mentioned, to cover these projects. And then there's a slight funding of about $8,000, and that's just because when we do our budget at the beginning of the year, we use estimated numbers. So it's just finalized our carryover from last year, funding numbers from the state. The third one is our classroom site fund, which we also refer to as 301. So there was a slight decrease, and same thing, it's just because of our finalized numbers for 25. So we estimate what we're going to end the year with. We ended, a little shorter, about $8,000. And then we estimate what we're going to get in current year funding, and it was just overestimated by about $13,000. So there's adjustments there. The bottom, like I said, our major significant factor is our ADM. You can see that it dropped from September to now about 187. And remember, that's not enrollment, that's attendance, kids that are enrolled, and for the first 100 days, what our attendance calculates out to. We also have Group B, that we receive additional funding for, and those are going to be our ELL students, our special education students, and free and reduced price lunch. That's underlined because that was the most impactful change. It was corrected for calculation purposes this year, so that was a significant change. And then just so that you're aware, when we do our revision in September, when we adopt our budget in July, it's based off of estimations. With us being in current year funding, it's just going to continuously change, and we monitor that every month by reconciling with the state, but it's just the process that we're in for budgeting purposes. Are there any questions that I can answer? Sorry. No. Thank you.
All right, if we don't have any questions for Mrs. Price, then do we have a motion then to approve the fiscal year 2026 revised expenditure budget as presented?
I move to approve the fiscal 2026 revised expenditure budget as presented.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Mary, please call for the vote.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, 5.4, transportation RFP.
So President Hayes, this year was year 6 of our transportation contract that we had signed with Durham. And so it was time to go out for another bid under the direction of Mrs. Price and then our business service manager, Mrs. Rodriguez, who led the committee. We had, I think it was 3 companies that submitted bid for. And so I'll turn it over to Mrs. Price that can talk more about how we arrived at this decision.
So you have the, in the board docs, you have the full RFP. So that was the request for proposal. And then you have the evaluation tabulation results. So like Mr. Lavender mentioned, there were 4 vendors that submitted proposal, our current Durham being one of them. There were 5 evaluators on the committee, and across the board, Durham scored first for all of the evaluators. It was based on a 1,400-point scale. They scored an average of 1,320 points. It was based on staffing availability, cost, qualification and experience, and method of approach. So the committee is recommending Durham School Services for the next transportation contract.
Are they maintaining what we're paying, what they're charging, or has it gone up?
So it is going up, and it increased by about 3.6%. So it's based on obviously routes and events, activities. So it's hard to give an exact number, but the average daily cost this year is about $12,900. And again, that's routes, extracurricular, special education, transportation. It's increasing next year to about $13,300. So it's about a 3.6% increase from this year. If you look at a year, again, 10 months that we're in school, it's roughly about $138,000 increase. As part of their bid, there is a maximum percentage increase of 4% every year.
If I'm reading this right, they were the lowest by far.
Yes, so there were 2 companies that provided daily rate increases and 2 that provided a 5-year span. So Durham did come in as the lowest provider.
Because I feel like we increased what we were paying them this last year in hopes that they weren't going to continue increasing. Am I wrong in that, Mr. Lavender?
So I think that the hope was that it wouldn't be a significant increase, the expectation.
On a mistake they did to have good faith so that we could maintain these costs.
And I recall that too, but if
Yeah.
I'm reading this right, they're significantly lower than everybody else. So maybe that is their attempt to make it right.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
The costs are definitely going up, and then the sales tax, which was discovered, which we as the school district have to pay.
Mhm.
And so we knew that we were going to get an increase this year.
Okay.
Did we budget for it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
I know it's, I just wanted to make a comment that even though it's not a conflict of interest, I do have a family member that works for Durham as a driver, bus driver, but I was advised that it's not a conflict of interest, but true transparency, want to let everybody know that I'm okay to vote on this. I know how those rules work.
I just looking at the total scores, it's quite obvious to me that we had 5 evaluators and they all came back relatively within the same ballpark, and they're more than twice what the next their score is more than twice the score of the second place.
Yes, second place, if you will, received 563 vote or points out of the 1,400. So again, Durham was 1,320.
So it's pretty much no question.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a move to approve this as presented for the transportation RFP.
I'll second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Mary, please call for the vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. All right. 5.5, 2026, 2027 health insurance and ancillary benefits.
Yes, President Hayes, governing board members, as you know, the district does pay benefits to our employees, and we cover 100% of the benefits, and we will continue to do 100% of the benefits. But there are some slight increases this year in benefits that Mrs. Price can talk about that we are absorbing into our budget. Mrs. Price.
So this recommendation comes through as part of our IBN, interest-based negotiation recommendation. So it goes to the committee, which is 26 members. It involves administrators, site administrators, directors, which include the director of HR, certified teachers, classified employees, professional support. So it is, which are all nominated by their peers. And so you have a summary sheet that breaks down the increase for each of the lines of coverage that we offer. So first looking at medical, which is Kairos is the company that we currently use for medical. You can see that there is an annual cost estimated at about 3.5 million, which compared to this year's 3.4. So to make sure that you understand, this is a snapshot of participation for the month of March. With new hires and terminations, right? Our monthly cost is going to change all year long just based on who is our current employees. And so there was an increase. It was about a 3.4% increase for medical insurance. The IBN committee opted to recommend going with different vendors for other lines of coverage to help offset that cost. So they realized that there was an increase in medical, but some of the concerns that they had was to minimize disruption for employees. A few years ago, when medical coverage was changed, there was significant impact to looking for in-network providers, and they felt like the employees really struggled with that change, and so they wanted to minimize that disruption, but also recognize that it was an increased cost for the district. So another option they looked at was changing life insurance to Symetra, both for long-term disability and basic life and AD&D, which was a savings of about 26%. So they were willing to, work with the district, and the district executive team, which included myself and Mrs. Daniels and Mr. Lavender. We agreed that their concerns and the cost savings didn't really outweigh the disruption for the employees and maintaining long-term stability. There was a drop that we could have saved with medical and maintaining some of the other things, but there was no guarantee long-term. Where our increase being at 3%, average for medical is about 7%. So we're half of that, and it could be a maximum of 14%. So our increase at 3.39 was, I know it doesn't seem good, but when you compare it to what it could have been, it was good. So again, these were the recommendations for the committee. The district team supported the recommendation as well. So we were asking for you to approve the insurance and ancillary benefits as presented. Any questions I can answer?
I have a question, Mr.
Mhm.
President. First of all, going through the city, and we've just done this ourselves, so we know that our interest, our percentage went up too. So insurance is costly. This is just the employees themselves. What about their families?
So we only pay for employees for medical, dental, vision, life insurance, but we do offer what's listed as Healthiest You Complete Bundle, which is our most expensive outside of medical. It is about $55,000 a year, which was an increase of the 23%. That was our highest. That's telemedicine. Teledoc essentially, but instead of it just being for our employee, it's anyone in their household. So although we can't afford to cover medical insurance, for dependents, it allows us to provide a benefit where they could call in and get, telemedicine for anyone that lives in their house. So that's the only offering that we pay for essentially for dependent coverage.
I was just wondering what it would cost because I know from the city's standpoint, employees are covered, but their families cost. And do we have any kind of cost? I don't want to belabor this point because I'm supportive of this, but I'm just looking from the family standpoint of if we, is there a bundle package for the employees to have their families covered at cost kind of thing? But I'm just wondering about that.
So we do offer different coverage options. So it is completely optional for an employee to choose either themselves and the child, where they would just be responsible for the child, for family, for spouse.
Right.
So we do offer different plans. It's just optional and paid by the employee.
I'd be interested in seeing that. I mean, it's separate, but I was just curious.
Because there's different levels, Mr.
Right.
Wilkie. I can send out a sheet tomorrow, kind of breaks it out. Because dual spouse working for the district is one price. There's only one employee. I think for one employee, it's about $600 to $700 a month. And so, but again, the children and all that, but I can send something to you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Awesome. That's it.
All right. If you don't have any other questions, do we have a motion then to approve the 2026 and 27 health insurance and ancillary benefits as presented?
I'll make a motion. We approve 2026, 2027 health insurance and benefits as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mary, please call for the vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. All right. 5.6, school year 2027 Southwest Education Center service contract.
Thank you, President Hayes, governing board members. Through our ESS department, which is our exceptional student services, there are 4 levels of services that we provide. Level A are for students very mild learning challenges, and they get the support within the classroom. A special education teacher coming into the classroom and checking or working closely with the teacher. Level B is the child can come out of the classroom to get extra one-on-one support from that special education teacher or an assistant, but they remain in their regular classes. A level C may be having a student not take the regular 9th or 10th grade math class, but take a class at a little bit lower level based on their IEP, or a lower level for language arts and writing. Level D are for students that are removed in a self-contained classroom all day. One of the challenges of level D is the number of students in those classrooms, as well as finding the expertise to cover some of those. Last month, you approved the new program, the new provider for our students with disabilities, for emotional disabilities at Union, replacing one provider with another provider, provide those 2 classrooms at Union. In this case, using Southwest Educational, these are where we may have a very small number of students where one classroom would be so small, and the teacher that we share resources with other school districts and other students around here by having them go there, and then we pay the contracted rates for them. And these are students usually with some pretty severe cognitive or physical challenges that just doesn't make it practical to be able to offer the services here on the campus. Mrs. Daniels, Ms. Preston are here that direct these programs. Is there anything, Tina or Heather, that you would add to my explanation?
No, I think that's good. We do
services for them.
And so we recommend approval of the agreement as presented tonight.
All right. Any other questions or anything?
But I have, is this two separate contracts? Because I see an ED and an LS contract. Are they,
That program supports students who have different diagnoses. And so there's kind of two levels of support depending on how much therapeutic personnel are needed to meet those students' needs. And so they are charged at a different rate, but it's the same campus.
okay, two services, two different contracts under one umbrella, pretty much. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? All right. Do we have a motion then to approve the Southwest Education Center service agreement for school year 2027 as presented?
Mr. President, I'll make the motion to approve the Southwest Education Center service agreement for 2027 as presented.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Mary, please call for the vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. 5.7, 2026-27 salary schedules.
Yes, President Hayes, governing board members, last month we approved the pay increases for the 26-27 school year. One of those proposals was a $2,000 increase to the base on our positions across the board. And so what Mrs. Price has gone through this last month is taking all those salary schedules, doing the increase of the $2,000 to the base, and cleaning up some things that may have been a little bit confusing in there. And this just represents the pay packages that you already approved. Mrs. Price, or anything else you'd like to add, ma'am?
No, not if there's not any questions.
Any questions?
Yep.
All right, then do we have a motion to approve the salary schedules for 2026-27 as presented?
I move to approve the 2026-2027 salary schedules as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Mary, please call for the vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. 5.8, donations.
Yes, President Hayes, governing board members, our district this month has been received some very generous donations. The Casa Grande Union Robotics Club received a $2,500 donation from Nissan Neighbors Grant, and also a $500 in product to sell at graduation from the parents of Alexandria Atkinson. Our Casa Grande Union High School band received $300 from the city of Casa Grande. And the Casa Grande Union High School Spirit Line received $300 from the city of Casa Grande, $1,000 from the Casa Grande Rotary Club, $100 from Elite Real Estate Pros, $200 from CGI Communications LLC, and $1,000 from Al Riley's Air Conditioning and Sheet Metal. Back in December, Kayla Tacker, who is a junior on our flag football team, was named the outstanding girls flag football player for the state of Arizona this year by the Arizona Cardinals. This award is named after the original owner, Charles Bidwell's wife, Violet, and the Cardinals, on behalf of Kayla, gave the district a $2,500 donation to Casa Grande Union High School Athletics. And we will be hanging a banner in the Casa Grande Union gym with Kayla's name on it, as well as Angel Flores, who was also the Cardinals Player of the Year in 2021 when he led the boys team to a state title. The Casa Grande Union High School Automobile received a $40 donation from Michael and Deborah Middendorf, excuse me. And then our Vista Grande Key Club received $1,000 from the Casa Grande Rotary Club, $500 from the Kiwanis Club of Casa Grande, $200 from Real Wishes Foundation, and the We the People, the group you saw earlier today, the Casa Grande Rotary Club donated $2,000 to them. We recommend acceptance of all these generous donations.
All right, then do we have a motion to approve acceptance of the generosity of those in our community?
I will make a motion as presented, and I just also wanted to say thank you to the CG Spirit Line and Vista Grande Key Club, who were wonderful helpers at the Rotary Denim and Diamonds event. And so we do have a really great group of kids at all of our schools. So I want to say thank you to them.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Mary, please call for the vote.
Mr. Wilkie?
Yes.
Ms. Harrington?
Yes.
Mrs. Jordan?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes. All right. Item number 6, consent agenda. Does any member of the board wish to pull any item from the consent agenda, or do we have a motion to approve it in its entirety?
I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda in its entirety as presented.
I'll second that.
All right, Mary, we have a motion and a second. Please call for the vote.
Yes.
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 Mr. Powell?
Yes.
And Mr. Hayes?
Yes. All right, at this time, we would normally have our call to the public, but seeing no requests from the public to address the board, we can move on to adjournment. Do we have a motion to approve adjournment?
I'll just make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Mary, please call for the vote.
Mr. Wilkie?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
And Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.